My name is Gianna, and I am here to talk about how John F. Kennedy died and how I believe the shooter, Lee Harvey Oswald, did not act alone in this terrible crime. On November 22nd, 1963, at 12:30 p.m., President John F. Kennedy was in Dallas, Texas for a campaign visit. While riding in his motorcade with First Lady Jackie Kennedy, Governor John Connally, and wife of Governor Connally, Nellie Connally, the motorcade turned past the Texas Schoolbrook Depository at Dealey Plaza, and when turning the motorcade, shots started to fire at the president's motorcade. President Kennedy was shot in the head and neck. After getting shot, the driver of the motorcade raced to the closest hospital, which was Parkland Memorial Hospital in Texas. At 1 p.m., 30 minutes later, President John F. Kennedy, our 35th president, was pronounced dead at 46 years old. By 2:15, the shooter Lee Harvey Oswald was found in the back of a movie theater and was there arrested. 2 days later, on November 24th, 1963, a local nightclub owner and police informant, Jack Ruby, murdered Oswald on live TV and shot him point blank. Officials came to the conclusion that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone in the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. They believed that Oswald shot and killed Kennedy and shot and wounded Governor Connally from the 6th floor window at the southeast corner of the Texas School Book Depository. The officials came to the conclusion, but why are people still talking about the assassination, about who did it, and why are there so many theories, and why do people believe that there was others involved? I believe that Oswald did not act alone, and that someone either paid him off or even threatened him to do it. A little background on Lee Harvey Oswald. He was born in New Orleans in 1939. His father died of a heart attack 2 months before he was born. Oswald did not have a father figure in his life and was then, as a boy, in and out of orphanages until he was 12 years old. At 12, he moved to New York with his mother, where he was sent to a detention center for truancy. Oswald then, in 1956, joined the Marines, where he earned a sharpshooter qualification. He was honorably discharged in 1959, and later that year returned to Texas with his wife and daughter. A year later, Oswald purchased a rifle with a telescope sight and a .38 revolver in the mail, and that same year he allegedly attempted to shoot a retired United States Major General, then later got denied a passage to Cuba, where he returns to Texas after, and started to work at the Texas School Book Depository in Dallas, Texas. Now, Oswald did not have a great life. He was without a father from the start, and he was in and out of orphanages until 12 years old. He did not have a lot of parental guidance in his life. Oswald had a wife and daughter, and I feel that he would not willingly commit this crime and lose his entire life over it if he had his wife and daughter to worry about. Because he had known the consequences and would obviously know what would happen to him if he was found guilty, which he was. But also, it was said he was allegedly attempted to shoot someone before this crime that he committed. Oswald also had a hate for what Kennedy stood for, and yes, that did give him motive because of how strongly Oswald stood for what he believed in. Now, I believe that Lee Harvey Oswald did not act alone, and many others believe that he did act alone. In 2017, there was a poll if Americans thought that he acted alone and if he did not act alone. And 33% of Americans believed that Oswald did act alone. So that means 67% of Americans believe that he did not act alone. Now, over half of Americans believe that he did not act alone. And that should really say something, and there has been many polls about this over the years, and I feel that there will continuously be polls about this until we find out an actual answer. And now Oswald could have been a part of a large organization to take out the president, but others think that he wasn't shooting at the president, but he was shooting at the governor of Texas, John Connally, who was injured in the shooting. Another conspiracy is the mob, and the mob could be involved because the mob could make any calls, and some people believe that Kennedy owed something to them, like a favor, and the mob got Oswald to kill him. Now, the mob was very involved in those years at that time, and with the Kennedys, they had a lot of bad luck, and people believe that the mob could have been involved in the president's votes and how he got elected. So I believe that maybe the mob could have been involved in the killing of the president because he might have owed them something and did not give it to them, and the mob does not care, and they want to get what they want, and they want it when they want it. So I believe that Oswald could have helped the mob. Another conspiracy was that the CIA was involved, and that the CIA could have put the hit on the president. And the CIA, the government, people believe that the government was involved in the 9/11 attack, and that is still a conspiracy against 9/11, and many people do believe that the government could have been involved in the president's assassination. And all of these conspiracies are unknown, and they are hard to figure out because all of these groups are very powerful, and also Lee Harvey Oswald died only 2 days later after being arrested, so he could not talk. And this leads me to believe that Oswald could have been struggling and needed money for his family, and or was threatened by someone to do the assassination against the president. And since he was awarded a sharpshooter, these groups knew that he could get the job done in one hit. And I do believe that Lee Harvey Oswald didn't do this all by himself, and he couldn't have planned it so well and done it in the first shot. Now, what do you think? Do you think that Lee Harvey Oswald did this himself, or were there other people involved? A question America will never stop asking. Thank you. Have a great night.